Stratos.
Seriously, what
and
the fuck?
demands, I don't know, like 20,000 credits in unmarked bills, a helicopter waiting all the way. It just makes a bunch of,
or some rights for people.
Like, whatever, just typical, like, terrorist demands.
Yeah.
So she gets got, though, and tortured by Placid, which pisses Kirk off, because, like, I haven't slept with her yet. And,
don't damage the merchandise.
And getting tortured is a huge mood killer.
He's not worth as much to me dead.
Exactly.
He's the Boba Fett in this situation now.
So Placid tells Kirk, and Spock can fucking kick rocks. He's like, get the fuck out of here. So apparently they find out that Xenite makes this gas that makes people kind of stupid.
Mm-hmm.
So the Enterprise makes these masks, and he offers them to Placid.
The most awkwardly shaped... Like, it's a mask, it's just like a little gas mask, but it's got a hook that goes over the top of your head.
And Kirk's like, Placid, wear this mask so the gas does not affect your mind. Again, grabbing his collar.
Right.
But Placid's like, oh, no, we're not going to use
those.
those.
The fire rises.
Placid's like, we're not going to use the mask. And you're like, holy shit, he knows. He knows what's up. He knows what the Xenite does to those people, to their minds.
And he don't care.
He doesn't give a fuck.
1%.
Ivana kidnaps Kirk again somehow. There's
a lot of back and forth.
Yeah, Placid shows up. Like they're in a mine, and Placid's there, and like he like forces them both to mine it, and but the gas like causes Kirk to go crazy.
Yeah, again, his craziness rears its head, and he's like, "Both of you mine, fuck you, I'm Captain Kirk."
And so they start fighting, and Vanna's all like, "Don't fight, please." And so they're beamed back. Like she, I guess, communicates with the Enterprise, like, "Hey, get us the fuck out of here!" Right. So they beam back to the Enterprise, like still kind of fighting, like mid fight.
Yeah.
And they stop, and I guess they just exchange the mask for the Xenite, and everyone's happily.
Again, they don't solve the problem. They just sort of, we got what we need. We're off to solve a potato famine. Fuck you guys.
Pretty much.
And Spock's like, but I didn't get to lay pipe with a work of art.
Well,
I didn't get to ruin a beautiful work of art with my sideways boner.
Our next episode, The Way to Eden.
The best episode ever filmed of any TV show, featuring Skip Homier.
Which,
and Charles Napier.
Apparently this episode is infamous.
Is it really?
Among Trekkers, yeah.
Why is it infamous?
Because it's a fucking crazy-ass episode.
It is.
With multiple musical numbers. Multiple musical interludes.
It's true. Well, there were some musical interludes in the early episodes, but not nearly as many per episode.
Yeah. No, like there was an almost kind of...
It's like half musical.
Almost, yeah. It's like Star Trek, the musical, with hippies.
Hippies,
with
instead
space
of the main
hippies.
character singing.
So there's this ambassador's kid, and he's become a hippie. And
he's been brainwashed by the Hare Krishnas of space.
And he's helped his new friend steal a space cruiser. And they're like, dude, those aren't your friends. They're getting you into trouble. Those aren't your friends. They don't care about you.
They want to deprogram him.
The leader's name is Dr. Severin. And he has some kind of space aids, they find out.
Mm-hmm.
And he thinks that going to a planet named Eden...
Right.
Very heavy-handed with the metaphors this week. It'll cure him. Spock...
Chuck's never really been subtle with its metaphors.
Yeah, true. Spock, who all the other space hippies give daps to, because like he comes up
he can somehow speak to them.
Yeah, he kind of they think that he gets them.
This is really Spock's week to actually shine.
Because he doesn't bullshit. He's like
he talks to them on their level somehow.
Like they're like, oh, this guy.
I reach.
Yeah, and
isn't that what he says? I reach.
But he says that Dr. Severin's fucking batshit crazy.
Right. Yeah, he
like this guy who
examine him and he's like he's clinically insane.
He talks to him and he's like, he's clinically insane, and like the other space hippies like, that guy's dope.
Right. Well, they're all children essentially. They're like college dropouts.
Yeah, pretty much.
One's a Starfleet dropout who used to be Chekhov's.
One of them is Chekhov's old sweetie from Mother Russia.
Yeah, who shares his love of Leningrad.
And one's the musician, I guess, who won't stop fucking singing songs.
Is that not the son of the...
Mm-mm.
Which one's the son?
I don't know.
Here's a picture. Is it the purple-haired dude?
Maybe. Okay. But the dude, I think the guy's name is Adam. And he's labeled as like a musician.
So of course. Oh, yes, of course, Adam. Right, yeah. I remember now. Fuck this episode, man.
So, they kind of take over the ship eventually, and they get to eat him, but it's like a poison hellhole where like the plants have acid on them.
Right.
Like the deadly kind, not the Burning Man kind.
Right.
And all the fruit is poison.
Yep.
Adam, by dying, finally shuts the fuck up. And all the others have like he took a bite out of like an apple or whatever.
Right. He was the only one who had shoes.
And he died from that.
From ingesting acid.
But he was the only one who had shoes. Everyone else has like crazy burns on their hands because like all the plants, like the grass, like everything is acid, which is what.
Whatever.
But like the Starfleet's like, oh, our clothes were protected for a little bit. But yeah, like they.
And Sabrin's like, no, this is exactly what he's basically like George W. Bush, refusing to acknowledge the truth in like.
There are no WMDs.
Right, there are no WMDs. Yeah, fuck it. Especially, well, we'll finish the episode and we can talk about it.
Well, yeah, like they're space hippies and thus wore no shoes, so they have all these crazy burns. The good doctor won't listen to Kirk when he's like, dude, this planet's butt fucked. And like he takes a bite out of fruit and dies, and all the hippies are sad. And Spock's like, just brush that shirt off, the dirt off your shoulders, homie. If you don't
find Eden, you'll make one.
Yeah.
Which is actually kind of a nice...
Which, again, like, you know, that's how Spock, you know, he's not a dick, and he kind of gets their cause, you know, they're looking for utopia.
Right, they're looking for peace, which as a Vulcan, obviously, Vulcans strive for serenity.
And he's like, oh yeah, I get you guys. I mean, like, need to fucking take a bath and not sing so many fucking songs.
Right.
But at one point, he jams out with Adam.
That's true. He plays his harp.
Well, like, first of all, the instrument that Adam is playing, like, it's like this weird guitar type thing.
It's like a guitar made from a cardboard shoebox.
But like the strings, like are like just like they go out. They're not like attached to the the neck. I don't know.
But somehow it makes some badass tunes, my brother.
But at one point, him and Spock has this one thing that he's playing, and him and Adam like jam out.
Yep. So on Wikipedia, it said originally this teleplay was written by D.C. Fontana, and it was entitled Joanna, and the Joanna was supposed to be McCoy's daughter.
Yeah.
And
not Ceiling Fan.
Not Ceiling Fan, as she was later named. And she was supposed to get romantically involved with Kirk, and then she became Irina, and Chekhov was made the foil. And the script apparently was rewritten so heavily, she was like, don't
put my name on it.
And apparently, the name Michael Richards, she used, the Kramer.
Yeah, Kramer.
Kramer wrote this.
Racist Kramer.
That Which Survives. Another one that she was like,
No thanks.
Do you think she still gets residuals for that?
Oh, probably, for sure.
Right, okay, good.
So our last episode this week, the Requiem for Methuselah.
The other best episode I've ever seen.
So the Enterprise has an outbreak of space herpes or something.
Something.
And they go to Holberg to find a cure and are attacked by some robot. And the robot hails as master, and...
The robot's like an actual robot. It's not like a data. It's like a floaty metal.
Kind of like a...
It looks like what was the space pro... Yeah, Nomad.
Yeah.
Like Nomad's bitch-ass brother.
Yeah, and calls his master's name Flint, and he tells him to fuck off or die. And that's like the cold open. Yeah. He's like, you must leave this planet or die. Yeah. And I'm like, that's like the shittiest cold open ever.
They're not even trying anymore.
Pretty much, like, yeah. So anyways, it turns out that Flint is actually immortal and has also been Leonardo da Vinci.
And Brahm.
And Johannes Brahm. And Methuselah and Lazarus and Merlin and a bunch of other people throughout history. Which is like fucking, like, the whole, like, he bought this planet, apparently, so he could be alone.
Right.
And so, like, his plan for solitude is to continue being, like, these famous people?
Well, no. He did that on Earth whenever he was, learning to be himself. He would live part of a life, and then he would fake his death and move on so nobody would figure him out. And he basically fell in love so many times and buried so many wives that he was just like, I can't take this anymore. I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this anymore. And so he used the massive wealth he'd acquired. I didn't know you could do this by Starfleet regulations, but he bought a fucking planet.
Well, I guess the
Starfleet doesn't own
like
the
how
galaxy.
like billionaire nut job buy islands.
Right. So he bought a little planet and built himself a wife.
Well, he says that he gave the magic touch to Reyna.
She's touched with the curse. She's autistic.
Yeah. But no, she's a robot.
Yeah.
That he built.
But she's no Andrea.
No. I mean, she's
lovely.
She's attractive, but
we'd all be lucky.
She's no Sherry Jackson.
Yeah. Louise Sorel is her name.
There's and again, like with the space hippie episode with the Way to Eden, there's like 3 or 4 like songs in the Way to Eden, which like it's just filler. Like they have.
Right.
Like they have nothing else, so it's like, oh, we need to fill 50 minutes.
Yep.
Just in Requiem for Methuselah, there's like a 3-minute like waltzing scene.
Right, where Spock's playing the piano.
Yeah, and Kirk and Reyna are dancing.
Right.
Like I remember
and nothing else is happening.
No, nothing. I was watching it and
the scene only ends because McCoy walks in and he's
staring at him.
Yeah, and he's like, "It's dead, Jen," because the vaccine's got iridium in it or something.
And so, but no, like, I was watching it and they start dancing and I was like, okay, I'm gonna, and I look at my phone and then I like text someone or like,
I finished doing everything I could do on my phone.
And then I look up and I'm like, they're still fucking dancing. But,
yeah,
she's a robot and Kirk had fallen in love with her.
That guy falls in love
really,
quickly.
Yeah, really easily. And so Spock gives him a Vulcan mind meld to make him forget.
And at the end of the episode, Kirk's got his head down on his desk like a little kid.
Yeah.
And Spock waits for McCoy, leaves the room, looks around, and leans down.
And like puts his hand on his face, on the side of his face.
Forget. And while I was watching with Becca said he does that at the end of every episode. We just don't see it.
They let the cameras keep rolling.
Well, meaning like that's why Kirk is always falling in love because he doesn't remember.
He's like, this woman is the best,
right? Because he's never met a woman as far as he knows. He's like, how am I so lonely?
It's like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, where like
Spotless Mind.
Well, yeah, this is Spotless Mind, which I guess was like the working title.
Yeah,
because was it Charlie Kaufman?
Yeah, Chuck Kaufman,
and he saw this episode. He's like, I got an idea, but this time we'll be different.
So much better than this. I kind of enjoyed this one for a shitty Star Trek episode.
It was pretty awful.
I kind of liked the idea of the guy being all these different important... Like, it was kind of like the Wolf in the Fold idea, but I thought this actually handled that idea better. Mm-hmm. And I liked that he ultimately wasn't awful. He was conflicted.
Yeah, and like he's also very distraught when Reyna like short circuits and
because she can't decide.
Air quotes dies.
Right, because and McCoy, again, digs at Spock, gives him this whole fucking monologue about, you'll never know love because it's not written in your book. Ha, ha, ha. And Spock's like, forget.
But, like, I mean, we've both gone through some...
shit together.
We've gone through some shit, man. No, we've gone through some heavy breakups. Like, some...
Yep.
It's
true.
Some pretty, like, bad breakups.
Soul-shattering type shit.
And I mean, Kirk with his head down on his desk, like, I've been there.
Yeah, but not after one day.
And like, and Spock's like, I'm not gonna let him like grieve or like, I'm not gonna let him like go through this naturally. And like, it's not gonna get like he assumes like it's not gonna get any better. Like he's gonna be like this forever now. And so I've got to do that. Like,
I really think that, I mean, if you read the show not as, like, completely episodic TV, but if you're actually reading it as there are things happening off camera, that there is connective tissue, that this is a living, breathing organism of a story, you have to assume Spock's done this before and he's going to do it again. That he's protecting his friend's heart.
I mean...
That's the...
Because he's very flippant about it.
Yeah, why would he choose this one time? But I kind of enjoyed that because it gives another dimension to Spock because it's like it's kind of a fucked up thing to do.
It's very fucked up,
but it's interesting.
And what's crazy is like he doesn't like ask him. He doesn't say like, "Hey, would you rather not remember this shit?" Like he just goes, he just assumes maybe there is like something like off camera. It's like, look, dude,
he and McCoy made a deal.
Like no, like he tells Spock like maybe after